Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH The Flame Emperor Part 19 based on novel. So let's start. Damn. There is actually a soul clan in this duty continent. Xiao Yan was also at the moment when the man in the black cloak appeared, combined with the pitch black chain in midair. He determined at a glance that this was the usual method of the Soul Palace on the Dochi continent. However, how could this Soul clan still exist on the upper plane of the Dochi continent? And it is exactly the same as the Soul race on the Dochi continent. Did your father ask you to come? Wu Huan also calmed down decisively. Anyway, as long as he didn't release the full power of the three-color blood curse, he wouldn't be demonized. You're still useful, it's not the time for you to die. Glancing at the dying Wu Huan, the black cloak said coldly. You know too much. This is your sleeping place. Turning his head to look at Xiao Yang, the gloomy voice under the dark cloak made the surrounding space tremble slightly. Crash! Accompanied by the sound of the man in the dark cloak sipping coldly, the countless dark chains made of unknown materials burst out from the black fog in a violent manner, then intertwined and crossed each other, and finally fell ruthlessly. At the place where Xiao Yang was, the chains shook, and all of Xiao Yang's escape routes were blocked. Damn! Xiao Yang also scolded secretly. The strength of this man in the black cloak may have already reached the peak of the 4-star Do Emperor, and he could not resist at his peak, not to mention the state of serious injury now. Master, it seems that you are going to work hard. Xiao Yang also said solemnly. Not in a hurry, I will insist on meeting. The Golden Dragon King was also quite satisfied, and going through such an intense battle was also of great benefit to Xiao Yang's strength. Boom boom boom. In the face of these chains, Xiao Yang could also feel the cold and evil power from them, and the only remaining power suddenly exploded. Constantly poured out of his body, burning those jet black chains. After all, the milky white flame was formed by the fusion of 23 kinds of different fires. Once it was wrapped around the chain, there were countless screams, and black mist continued to pour out of the chain, desperately resisting the burning of flames. At the moment when the man in the jet black cloak appeared, Xiao Yang also knew that today must be a desperate fight. The blood essence with terrifying power was instantly wrapped in milky white flames. It is the blood essence obtained from the bloodthirsty dragon lizard before, which evokes the bloodthirsty defense shield, and even the strength of this pitch-black cloaked 4-star fighting Emperor peak is enough to resist a blow. Crack! Under the struggle of the milky white flame, some jet-black chains were directly burned with some small cracks. At the cracks of the chains, black mist surged, and faintly, there were small hideous faces emerging, which looked extremely strange. If Xiao Yang was at his peak, he would definitely still have the strength to fight back against the dark cloaked man, but after coming out of the attack, he had not had time to stabilize his realm after absorbing the energy of Yin Yang Xin, and after a fierce battle with Wu Huan, he could now handle it. Also quite exhausting. Feeling the tiny cracks on the chain, the man in the black cloak suddenly increased his strength. Wu Huan's complexion also changed slightly. He did underestimate Xiao Yang's strength before, but with the family in front of him, this Xiao Yang would definitely not be able to escape today even with 3 heads and 6 arms. Lock! Hearing his stern shout, I saw that the handprint of the man in the black cloak changed, and a thick black mist suddenly burst out from his sleeve, and then turned into countless souls with hideous faces, howling miserably, overwhelming the sky. Facing Xiao Yang, who had been blocked for a long time. Bang bang bang. These ferocious souls filled with black mist just touched Xiao Yang's body, and they were directly burned into nothingness by the milky white flame, but even so, their number was extremely terrifying, thousands of them were black and zero. The soul that controlled the mind was like a moth to a flame, rushing towards Xiao Yang with a suicidal madness. Looking at the miserable howl that filled the sky, and finally all the souls that were burned into nothingness by Xiao Yang's milky white flames, Wu Huan's complexion was also a little ugly. Means. These bastards. Xiao Yang's face was ashen as he scolded through gritted teeth. After dealing with it just now, it was obvious that the man in the black cloak didn't do his best, otherwise Xiao Yang's current situation would be very dangerous. But going around like this made Xiao Yan feel like he was in a desperate situation. Jie Jie, do you want to go all out? But it's too late now. Seeing Xiao Yan's demeanor with a blood-colored defensive shield all over his body, the man in the black cloak also burst into a strange smile, and immediately waved his sleeves, creating a strange black mist. Quickly poured out of its body, and finally condensed into a dark cloud layer in the sky. Even the sunlight above the sky was difficult to pour in. For a time, the sky where the demonic beast mountains was located instantly became darkened. The Black Cloak Man's action is to cover the sky and the sun. Even a 4-star peak powerhouse can't help but be shocked. This power is really terrifying. Black clouds shrouded in darkness, and the man in the black cloak seemed to be invisible, disappearing strangely. In an instant, the entire sky became extremely quiet. In this creepy and strange environment, even the 4-star Do-D powerhouse is the only one who is uneasy. The strange overcast wind drifted quietly. Xiao Yang's eyes, whose whole body was wrapped in rich milky white flames, shrank suddenly, and immediately turned around and punched the empty space behind him with a fist move. The surging soul power that filled the whole body also moved along with it, and the dry fist seemed to cause the vibration of this space, mixed with a powerful and unparalleled wind, and smashed it fiercely. Boom! Where the fists landed, a black shadow appeared strangely. The fists collided, and ripples of energy like real energy spread out in all directions, and finally brought a muffled sound like thunder in the sky. The fist staggered, and the two figures disappeared again strangely under the gazes of countless eyes. After a moment, when they reappeared, they were already 100 meters away. For a time, thunder rolled in the sky, and silhouettes flickered. The appearance of will cause a thunderous explosion due to the collision of extremely powerful forces, causing countless people below to be terrified. Above the sky, the black clouds are rolling, and when there are occasional fluctuations in strength, the thick black cloud layer just cracked a gap, allowing a beam of sunlight to pour in, but at this moment, even the sunlight, it makes people feel nothing. Warm meaning. Bang bang bang. The bloodthirsty dragon defense shield on Xiao Yang's body was also shattered at this moment, and the fighting chi on his body was about to be exhausted. Susu, it seems that God doesn't help you. Suffer to death. The black cloak's handprint changed, and the huge chain contained terrifying power, and it rushed towards Xiao Yang, trying to kill him with one blow. Just as Xiao Yang was about to take on the challenge, a hearty laughter suddenly appeared behind him. A terrifying Lingfeng also instantly dissolved the chain's attack easily. It's not your turn to point fingers at the person I want to protect. Susu, it's better for your Yu family not to intervene in our affairs with this kid, otherwise it will make your Yu family uneasy. The man in the black cloak also said solemnly, because he was at the peak of his 4-star fighting emperor strength. The moment this burly figure appeared in front of him, he also felt something wrong. There is only one possibility for this situation. The burly middle-aged man in front of him is only stronger than him. It's not too much trouble. Yu also fell to Xiao Yang's side, and then put her huge palm on Xiao Yang's shoulder. With Yu's strength, she naturally felt that Xiao Yang was injured at this time, although it was not counted. It was serious, but it also reached the place where the lamp was exhausted, and then the majestic and gentle force was irrigating Xiao Yang's body, trying to repair some of Xiao Yang's injuries. In the battle with Wu Huan, there was not much vindictive energy left in the body, and then in the battle with the Black Cloak Man, the only remaining vindictive energy was consumed. Feeling this sudden gentle power, Xiao Yang also clicked on Yu with understanding. Nod. Oh, you are really amazing. You have been promoted to the peak of the 3-star Do-D within just a few days. If this girl in my family has half of your cultivation speed, it would be great. Yu briefly contacted Xiao Yang, who was also surprised, and said, you must know that every level of a Do-Di powerhouse requires huge strength as support. Xiao Yang broke through to the peak of the 3-star Do-D in a short period of half a month. He should have gained that the great fortune in the ruins, otherwise, it is impossible for Xiao Yang to advance in such a short time because of his talent and intelligence. Xiao Yang, are you all right? Yueru glared at her father fiercely, as he talked a lot, and then walked straight in front of Xiao Yang, looking at the large and small wounds on her body. She couldn't help but ask distressedly. It's all right. Xiao Yan could also see that Yueru had some ulterior motives, but now it's obviously not about this. The people in black cloaks are still there, and the power of the Soul clan should not be small. Xiao Yan obviously doesn't want them to visit the Yu family. This muddy water. Don't worry, since you have healed my father, then you are the eternal benefactor of our Yu family, and my father is here. Yu seemed to see Xiao Yan's concerns, and then said, "This kid can't help but avenge his revenge for hurting Wu Huan. If your Yu family insists on protecting him, then the consequences." The man in the black cloak sneered, and his meaning was obvious. Hey, I have long heard that Wu Huan, the proud son of Wu Cheng, is a character that must be reported, and it is inevitable that there will be damage in the battle. Why did you bring Wu Cheng out again? I really think that my Qingcheng Yu family is afraid. Yu also spoke slowly, and the majestic Do Chi also burst out. Obviously Yu Ran was not afraid. Even if he was lifted out of Wu Cheng, he couldn't suppress the Yu family. The man in the black cloak also cursed inwardly, and then helped Wu Huan, who was seriously injured and dying. After thinking for a while, he wanted to escape. After all, if Wu Huan's seriously injured body was not treated in time, it was very likely that he would suffer from some kind of disease, and it was obviously very difficult for him to do anything to the head of the Yu family just by relying on his own strength. I hope your Yu family doesn't regret today's stupid behavior. The man in the black cloak turned into a dark light and disappeared. Bang bang bang. When Yu heard the words, she also waved her hand, and a terrifying strong wind followed. Since that's the case, let's go too. With such a big movement, there should be a lot of people coming to check it out. Yu also looked at Yu and Xiao Yang kindly. Boy, thanks, senior. Xiao Yang clasped his fists and said gratefully to Yu. Xiao Yang is also clear that although he helped Yu to get rid of toxins before, if it wasn't for the help of Yu and her father today, he would have been more fortunate than lucky. This kind of kindness, because of Xiao Yang's character, can't help but feel a little moved. After so many years, there are not many people who can be so concerned by my girl. Yu also looked at the man in black cloak who had escaped, and did not pursue too much, and returned to joke with Xiao Yang. Road? Father. Yu Rudai looked at her father with slightly wrinkled eyes, obviously complaining. Okay, I won't say any more. Yu was obviously convinced by her little daughter-like behavior. Xiao Yang was also not easy to answer, so he could only smile to express his gratitude, but he could see that Yu, the father, was very doting on Yu. Xiao Yang has suffered such a serious injury, let's go back first. Yu also helped Xiao Yang, and then her lips parted slightly. Although Xiao Yang was busy refusing, the weakness in his body spread throughout his body, so he had no choice but to give up. Then let's go. Yu couldn't hold back her daughter, so she followed. This Xiao Yang is not only an alchemist who is as high as the first rank of the emperor, but his combat power is not weak at all. He can actually beat Wu Huan like this alone. If it weren't for the black cloak, maybe this Wu Huan would have died. In this kid is in his hands, not bad. Looking at the figures of the two of them leaving, he muttered to himself at the place where the black cloak disappeared just now. The three turned into three meteors, left the depths of the demonic beast mountains, and headed for the Yu family mansion. The three of them had just left on the front foot, and just now Xiao Yang and the others were fighting in the depths of the demonic beast mountains, and some people came from the back foot. Looking at the fighting chi, it should be the martial arts of Wu Cheng, but to be able to beat this martial arts like this, I don't know where the genius of evil came out. A weak figure looked at the still unfinished sight in the air. The completely dissipated fiery red grudges practiced the Tao. On the shoulders of the weak figure, an eagle with a fierce aura stood impressively. The strange thing is that this eagle actually has 3 eyes. It's been a long time since the Lord of the City of 10,000 Beasts. How can you come to the depths of the demonic beast mountains today? A bald-headed man also said impressively. City Lord Mu has not seen you for a long time, aren't you here too? The weak figure said to the bald man. Is there any gain? The bald head also looked for the exit. Let's go, no one is here. After the weak figure finished speaking, the eagle on his shoulders suddenly made a loud chirping, and then its body suddenly enlarged several times, and the weak figure jumped up and stood on it, staying away from it. Into the depths of the demonic beast mountains. I really don't know where the people are fighting here. Such a battle is really not small. After speaking, the bald head captured the smell of flames in the air. This is. Grabbing the palm of his hand out of thin air, the faint flame remaining in the air appeared out of thin air in the bald head's hand. Feeling the power of the flame that seemed familiar, the bald head was also trying to remember something. Little bastard, I've finally found you. With a heavy hold of the palm, the faint flames were crushed. The bald head stared resentfully at the place where he had fought before, and then muttered to himself, "Little bastard, you beat my son so badly that your strength is stagnant. If you let me find you, this time I have to let it go. You are better off dead." After the bald head finished speaking, he hurriedly disappeared into the depths of this demonic beast mountain range, as if he had some plans. The three of them came to the Yu family mansion after a short while from the depths of the demonic beast mountains. Then they entered through the back door of the family and went straight to the family hall in order to prevent people from seeing them. You should take little friend Xiao Yang to rest first. In addition, little friend Xiao Yang is an alchemist. If you need any medicinal materials, just ask. Yu came to the family and spoke slowly and comfortably. "Thank you, senior." Xiao Yan also clasped his fists towards Yu, and without hesitation, took out a piece of white paper from the hall and wrote some medicinal herbs needed for healing on it. Now is not the time to be polite, and the injury must be healed as soon as possible so that Qing Yuan's matter can be resolved. Yu picked up the white paper and looked at it, and found that these medicinal materials were not too precious, and then frowned. The better the healing medicine, the medicinal materials needed for refining are also very precious, Xiao Yang. Well, let's go. Yueru also whispered to her father and then helped Xiao Yang to slowly walk outside. If Xiao Yang's current injury is not treated in time, it will be at the root of the disease. Come here, immediately prepare all the medicinal materials on this white paper and send them to Xiao Yang. Also, take out the healing root in the family and send it to Xiao Yang. Yu also saw Xiao Yang and her daughter disappear from her field of vision, and called out to an old man sitting in the hall. Waved. "Patriarch, this is absolutely impossible." An old man who looked a little old said in horror. "The medicinal herbs on this white paper are fine, but healing the spiritual root is absolutely impossible." The old man took the white paper and looked at it, said solemnly. "Patriarch, do you know how much we paid for this healing spiritual root? This is an elixir that is comparable to some low-level healing techniques of the angel family, known as the flesh and bones of the living dead. How could it be so casually given? What about a stranger?" The old man said angrily, "Obviously the value of this so-called healing spiritual root is quite precious." "Ha ha ha, third elder, I think you are old and confused. Although I don't know the identity of this kid, but at a young age, he was able to possess the wonders of the world like a fire elf, and even if I look at his flame, it is definitely not an ordinary flame. Also, he is a first-order imperial pharmacist. It's not something he can have alone. If there is no backing behind him." Yu said that he didn't continue talking here. As the head of the family, Yu naturally has to consider the entire family. If nothing else, Xiao Yang's own alchemist skills are enough for their Yu family to show their affection. After all, a first-rank imperial pharmacist can much more valuable than these elders. How could it be possible? The old man also shrank his pupils tightly, obviously shocked. An alchemist of the first rank of emperor rank is enough to be on an equal footing with him, not to mention that he is also carrying a wonder of the world such as a fire elf. It's the old man's clumsy eyes? The old man's eyes dimmed, and he took the white paper to prepare the medicinal materials. "Third elders, remember that this Xiao Yang will always be the noble of our Yu family. Heal the noble person who has a dark disease in me." Yu also said in a tone. "I see." The old man known as the third elder was also an old fox, and immediately understood the meaning of the patriarch's words. "I'm also curious that you will reach various levels, the owner of the fire elf." Yu looked at the distant sky with deep eyes and muttered to herself. With the help of Yueru, Xiao Yang entered the secret room to retreat to heal his wounds. This time, he fought Wu Huan. Although he almost killed the opponent, he was prevented by the man in the black cloak, and Wu Huan escaped. But his injuries were not light. In the backyard of the Yu family, in a quiet secret room, the inlaid moonstone on the wall exudes a faint light, driving out all the darkness in the secret room. The warm light shines on Xiao Yan, who is sitting cross-legged on the bed with his eyes closed for healing. On the body. Xiao Yan, the herbs are ready. I'll put them at the entrance of the cave and you can pick them up. If you need anything, you can tell me at any time. Yueru's extremely gentle voice came from the entrance of the cave. Xiao Yan also got up and went to get the medicinal materials. Although these are not too precious medicinal materials, with Xiao Yan's current medicine refining skills, he can also heal his injuries very quickly. Hey, it's actually a healing spiritual root. Xiao Yan just picked up the bronze jade plate containing the medicinal materials, and the sound of surprise from his master, the Golden Dragon King, came from inside the ring. Huh? Hearing that, Xiao Yan also looked down at the jade bottle in his hand, and was fascinated by the bronze plate. I saw that apart from the medicinal materials Xiao Yan asked for, a pure white as jade branch lay quietly on it, and it couldn't help exuding a very gentle power. Healing spiritual roots? Yes, this is the root of healing, which is similar to the healing power of the angel family. The medicinal materials of the angel family are known as the holy medicine for healing. I didn't expect that the Yu family not only has the inheritance of the light of the moon, but also has such a rare healing spiritual root. It seems that the Yu family has a very strong background. The Golden Dragon King also muttered to himself. You don't need the other herbs, just put them away. It's enough to have this healing spiritual root. Use your flame to refine it. The Golden Dragon King also smiled slightly. Hearing this, Xiao Yan also summoned a milky white flame, and then took the medicinal material called healing spirit root into his hand. The milky white flame just touched the healing root, and the healing root turned into a stream of the purest liquid and slowly appeared in Xiao Yan's hand. Direct absorption, said the Golden Dragon King Zaidu. Yu reading. This power seems to be somewhat the same as the one radiated from Qing Yuan before. Staring at the pool of liquid on his palm, Xiao Yan frowned slightly. There was nothing to think about, so he had to do it, and then took a deep breath, and the pure white liquid entered his mouth. The liquid had just entered the mouth, and the terrifying power nourished the whole body. Xiao Yan's depleted body was instantly replenished. Xiao Yan was overjoyed, and immediately closed his eyes and absorbed the most wonderful power. Time passed by minute. Xiao Yan's breathing also gradually became extremely peaceful, maintaining a perfect cyclical rhythm between exhales and inhales, and every time he completed his breathing, the space around him would fluctuate slightly, and immediately a rather vigorous streak would appear. The energy of heaven and earth is poured into the limbs from the mouth along the breath. The power of the healing spirit root poured into Xiao Yan's body continuously, and the latter's body was like a bottomless pit that couldn't be filled. No matter how the energy was poured, it never overflowed. The quiet cultivation and healing lasted for an unknown time, but at a certain moment, when the paleness on Xiao Yan's face was completely replaced by a healthy rosy, the fluctuations in the space around his body slowly disappeared. As the wave disappeared, Xiao Yan's eyelashes suddenly trembled. After a while, he finally slowly opened his tightly closed eyes. In the pair of pitch-black eyes, milky white flames surged up and quickly disappeared. Huh. This thing is really amazing. Master, the healing spirit root you mentioned is really powerful. I can't imagine that my injuries will be healed in a short period of time. Xiao Yan was also shocked. Obviously, the medicinal materials donated by the Yu family were quite extraordinary. Even with his current medicine refining skills, it would take a lot of time to recover from his injuries. Of course, don't you think that anything that can be related to the angel family is a vain call, although this is not the healing power of an angel? The Golden Dragon King also rolled his eyes at Xiao Yan. The injury has healed. It seems that the time for this retreat is not short. Feeling the surging fighting spirit in his body, Xiao Yan smiled slightly, and then said in a low voice. With the recovery of this injury, he has become much more proficient in the power to break through the skyrocketing power. Xiao Yang is somewhat confident. If he encounters Wu Huan next time, he will definitely not be as evenly matched as this time. Then the stone room was filled with the voice of his master, the Golden Dragon King. Little Yanzi, before you entered the ruins, your real strength was around the peak of the early Samsung Do Emperor, but for various reasons, it suddenly soared to the current peak of the 3-star Do Emperor. Although this is the mysterious effect of Yin-Yang Heart, the speed is the same. It can be called terrifying, and this is the first time you have experienced this kind of thing in the rank of Do D, so in terms of power control, there is still a big gap with the real 3-star Do D peak powerhouse. In this battle with Wu Huan, if you can completely control the power of the peak of the Samsung Do D, even if you can retreat under the mysterious black cloak, you will not be so embarrassed. Hearing this, Xiao Yang also nodded thoughtfully. What his master Jin Longking said was reasonable. In the past, when he cultivated himself, before Do D, he was very down-to-earth. Therefore, after getting acquainted with him who was down-to-earth, his strength suddenly soared this time. In fact, he himself felt a little overwhelmed. It is the most difficult to get up, and even some unreliable strength soar, and it will make people extremely unlucky to stay at that point forever. But fortunately, your strength soared this time, not the stupid way of directly using energy to force it. The combination of the power of Yin-Yang Heart and the Yin-Yang Profound Dragon Pill is also an extremely pure power that erodes each other. You have grown very well. From a certain point of view, this time, you are not really a pinch. As for your strength, you are actually improving slowly under the influence of Yin and Yang, but during the promotion, you're in a state of battle, and you don't know it. But even so, it's a fact that your strength has risen sharply this time, so before you completely control the peak power of the Samsung Do Di, don't think about how much progress you can make. After all, you can only move forward if you master the existing power. One step forward. The Golden Dragon King floated in the air and opened his mouth. Hey, what the master taught is. Xiao Yang also scratched his head. The thought on his face slowly faded. Xiao Yang sighed. He knew that this kind of thing couldn't be rushed. Master, are there still 8 ancient clans on this Do Di continent? Xiao Yang also said solemnly after having learned a lesson from his master. It was obvious that the man wearing a black cloak appeared before. The silhouette is exactly the same as the Soul Clan aura on Do Chi continent. Compared to Xiao Yang, he was also greatly surprised, and then he couldn't help but speak. There are also 8 major families on the Do Di continent, the Xiao clan, the Yang clan, the Ancient clan, the Thunder clan, the Soul clan, the Spirit clan, the Medicine clan, and the Stone clan. As for the Xiao clan, you don't need to ask, I will naturally tell you when the time comes. The other 7 clans live on the opposite side of the Xianling continent. What you only need to know now is that the ancestors of the 7 clans belong to them. And some old monsters were also promoted from your Do Chi continent, but specifically, when your strength reaches a certain level, I will naturally take you there. It is too early to say too much now. The Golden Dragon King is obviously avoiding something. It's the Soul Clan again. I really don't know what these guys want to do. Xiao Yang seemed to have known it for a long time, rolled his eyes at his master, and said, Where do you have this race? The Golden Dragon King was also surprised. This little Yanzi actually asked. On our Do Chi continent, behind the Soul Palace is the Soul Clan, which is also one of the 8 ancient clans. It has a self-contained space comparable to the peak of the Dosheng, and it is called the Soul Realm. The Soul Palace is arrogant and domineering, searching for all kinds of souls all over the continent. Body, especially the soul of a powerful alchemist, and it seems to be an organization composed of soul bodies. It is the most powerful force on the bright side of Do Chi continent, and has been tracking down the whereabouts of the ancient emperor of Tuoshi. For our Xiao family, the family has some grudges. When the Yunnan sect attacked our Xiao family, they kidnapped my father Xiao Zhon. When Xiao Yang fought against the Yunnan sect, they kidnapped my teacher Yao Lao. The old man Mu Jiyu was sent to capture the strange fire during the Dan meeting. The power of the temple master's soul is unfathomable, and his whereabouts are mysterious. My alchemist, lost to me in the battle at the top of the Fall Tilde and was destroyed, and the remnant soul was taken away by the Soul Clan. Xiao Yang also tried hard to recall the Soul Clan on the Do Chi continent. Do it scene by scene. It's actually like this. The Golden Dragon King also said solemnly. They searched for so many souls in Do-Chi continent in order to step into the Emperor Realm soul, but what are they going to do in this Do-Di continent? Xiao Yang also muttered to himself. Absorb powerful soul power to advance to the soul of the Emperor. This method really resembles their style. As for what you said, they are also searching and capturing souls on the Do-Di continent. I think they are not only to advance to a more powerful soul realm. I have also investigated deeply before, and it seems that people from the Soul Clan and the Demon Clan are mixed in. Together, they seem to be planning some huge conspiracy. The Golden Dragon King also recalled hard. Forget it, you don't have to worry too much, take a step and see, isn't there me? The Golden Dragon King also smiled slowly. Yeah. Xiao Yang also responded softly. Let's go, it's also time to go out and see what Qing Yuan is planning. The Golden Dragon King Zaidu said. Let's go. Hearing that, Xiao Yang also stood up, tidying up the ancient ruler of eternal fire behind him, and then stepped out of the stone room. This time, even with the mysterious effect of healing the spiritual root, it took a full 7 days. The wounds in Xiao Yang's body were gradually showing signs of recovery, and this was because his physique had passed through various spiritual fluids. Even the tempering of the power of blood, coupled with the tempering of different fires, if it is an ordinary person, this kind of injury will not be completely healed after half a month or even a month, and even, maybe there will also be some permanent sequelae that are difficult to heal due to the severe injury. When Xiao Yan came out of the retreat, it was noon. He walked through the unmanned path and walked towards the lobby. During the retreat, Yueru came over and told him that when the retreat was over, he went straight to the lobby. It seems that there is something important to say to Xiao Yang. Daddy, in another month, it seems that it will be the enrollment time of the powerful sectarian forces on our Xianling continent this year, right? Yu was also sitting in the lobby, with her legs crossed very leisurely, her eyes narrowed and confused. Suddenly, a slightly eager inquiring voice from his daughter suddenly came from his ears. The special name made him raise his brows slightly. The Xianling royal family, the famous Do-Chi Academy on the Xianling continent, one of the 4 continents in the southeast and northwest of the Do-Di continent, is so powerful that it is far beyond the imagination of ordinary people. It is said that in the Xianling royal family, if you want to become a mentor, your strength needs to be at least around the strength of the 5-star Do-Di. Everyone on the Xianling continent knows that the controller of this continent is the Xianling royal family, and this Xianling royal family is also controlled by the controller of the Xianling continent's royal family, so it is also the Xianling imperial family. Moreover, this Xianling royal family is also a giant-like existence on this Xianling continent, even if it is said that it is an exaggeration to hold the sky with one hand. Every first month, the top forces on the Xianling continent will send messengers to various cities to recruit some young fresh blood. If a force wants to be prosperous, it is particularly important to absorb fresh blood. In Do-Di continent, the royal family is somewhat different from the sect. Joining the royal family, although the resources and training of the royal family will be better, it will be subject to some restrictions from the royal family. After all, the royal family regards face, status as more important, and their future actions also represents the royal family behind it, while the sect is different from the royal family with so many restrictions. But having said that, Karen is not a creature without feelings after all. In such a simple ivory tower in a sect, it is easy for students to develop an affection for the sect in some studies and tasks, and hold important positions after graduation. This kind of vague emotion will make many people willing to give some help to the sect within the scope of their ability. One person may help, but if there are thousands of people, the deterrent effect caused by this kind of network is quite terrifying. And this is the purpose of all sects. Entering a sect is the best shortcut to get exercises and fighting skills. Among the sects of this level on the Xianling continent, if you perform well or are favored by some instructors, you may be able to obtain some high-level skills. Law and fighting skills, and with these 2 things, then the road to becoming a strong man is much closer. Cultivation techniques, fighting skills, medicinal pills, and the 3 most attractive things on the Do-Di continent are also 2 of the sects. Therefore, in the hearts of countless people in the mainland, as long as you step into the sect of the Xianling continent among them, it can basically be said that the future is worry-free. Every student who successfully graduates from these powerful sects will be scrambled by various forces as talents. The future can be said to be bright. Therefore, every year, there are countless young people on the Xianling continent fighting for their scalps, trying their best to get into the powerful sects on the continent. Yes, in a month, an envoy will come to our Qingcheng to be responsible for recruiting. Yu also said softly. After Yu finished speaking, she frowned and caught a breath, slowly moving towards the lobby. Senior is really a keen perception. Xiao Yan was also surprised by Yu's keen insight. The 5-star Do-Di powerhouse really lived up to its reputation. Ha ha ha, little friend Xiao Yan is joking, you are also a monster with a physique. Yu also laughed heartily, and then carefully looked at Xiao Yan. Judging from the previous injury of this kid, 10 days and a half months can't be cured. Even with the mysterious effect of healing the spiritual root, it is impossible to recover so quickly. That's why Yu is surprised. Xiao Yan, your injury has recovered so quickly. You really deserve to be a first-order imperial pharmacist. Yu was in a good mood when she saw Xiao Yan's recovery. Come here and sit down, I just have something to tell you. Yu got up and pulled out a chair and said to Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan also smiled to express his gratitude, and then sat down without being pretentious. How could this scene escape the eyes of the old fox Yu? Hey, this girl, she really didn't stay in a female university. Yu also sighed in her heart. Let's get down to business. Yu was also helpless for her daughter to act like this, but now this family has the final say, so she can be happy. Hearing this, Xiao Yan and Yu's eyes also focused on Yu. After a month, an envoy will come to our Qingcheng, select some talented people to go to Xianqian-san, and then after Xianqian is selected, they will join any one of the Xianling continent by virtue of their own ranking and voluntarily. Power. Yu spoke slowly. Mysterious 3 days. Xiao Yang also wondered. The so-called Xian Santian is the place where the top forces on the Xianling continent where we are located gather. There will be a fierce competition somewhere. Yu Rubei's lips slightly parted. Little friend Xiao Yang, is there any intention to go? Yu also said, Yu read although her daughter has something to inherit, but after all, she has to go to a distant place to join that sect in order to obtain the inheritance. His mother was worried, Yu's mother died early, and he, a father, was also worried. If Xiao Yang also went, the two would also take care of each other, and he would feel much more relieved, so he couldn't help but say. It's natural to go out and see. Xiao Yang also said, this Yu family is obviously a good friend. After all, Xiao Yang's arrival in Do-Di continent was still a bit difficult, and a little power to help is also very good. Ha ha ha. Good. Then Xiao Yang's little friend is resting at my Yu's house. When I finish writing a book, you and Yu can also save a lot of trouble. Yu also laughed loudly. Obviously Xiao Yang agreed. Being a father is also much more at ease. After all, Xiao Yang is quite satisfied with his strength and temperament. Then Xiao Yang has thanked the seniors. Xiao Yang also said with a fist, although this Yu also has plans for his daughter, but it is not a bad heart, and with this letter, I believe it will solve a lot of troubles. Don't be so polite to me, kid. That's such a happy decision. Yu also said. Xiao Yang, what's wrong with you? Yu was very happy when she heard that Xiao Yang went with her, and then her beautiful eyes turned to see Xiao Yang, who frowned and asked. I don't know what happened to Qing Yuan. Xiao Yang also asked. Qing Yuan, I have never encountered this kind of symptoms. Even if I invited many powerhouses in the city, they would still be puzzled. This video will end here.